Ho, ho, ho. 3. Santa's Truth Christmas Calendar. Third door is ready to be opened. Like that. Very simple. Now, let's start with the normal routine. There's nothing here. Nothing planned. No intention. Maybe there has been some ideas before this. What should I talk about? How should I talk about it? Maybe there are even ideas right now that are circling around that I could talk like this or talk like that, start like that or start like this. But I will let all those things now be and just be pure and empty like this. I will fix my hat a little bit. So, you do the same actually. Just be empty. There's no pressure to do anything. There came an idea that somehow I should start with something to catch your interest, to really catch your attention, so you would be very alert to listen to what I'm saying to you. I won't touch that now. Whether this is interesting, whether this is insightful, whether this is useful, it doesn't matter. If I'm just here, there can be some little bit uncomfortable feelings or emotions, that some kind of agitation that something should happen or something should be said. That's good. They can come and they can go, because they can't intimidate this that already is here perfectly. It can speak or not speak. Some idea came that actually I don't give even attention to that idea. Why should I bring it here to bring something to this what already is absolute and perfect? This is not meditation. This is not, you can't call this with any name. You can call it whatever you want. But even the most perfect description is not it. It can never be it. It can aim to point at it. But I'm not even sure if anything is able to actually point to it. Because it's not an object. It's this formless. But it's not the opposite of form. Only in dualistic world you can say formless like that. It's opposite to form, but this is not opposite of formfulness. This is not opposite of somethingness. This is not opposite of fullness. It's not nothing. Nothing can't be described because it's nothing. How is this nothing? How is this nothing when you talk, when you appear to be something? That's just a question arising. Everything is appearing. But you can't grasp anything. When there comes an identification, like now, there is an identification of describing something. There's an attempt to describe something that is actual. But at the same time, what is being said, this movement, this energy that comes, this thought, this speech is real time observed neutrally. It is observed at the same time as this talking is happening. It is observed. It is observed. So this thought, this energy that is called a thought, that somehow would describe something that is actual. It is at the same time as there is this energy of feeling that this speech and thought is something real, something actual. At the same time, there is observation, just observation of it. So it is seen through. It is seen through this whole thing that's happening here, this speech, this energy, this movement, this whole context, the aim to describe something. All of this is seen through real time. But there is no position where it is seen through from. It is just seen through. So if it is seen through completely, what is it that is seeing through? What is it that is observing this? Now this question, there are two things happening. The seeming identification to this question that aims for some kind of interaction, that there's some kind of thinking happening or some kind of observation, internal observation happening that comes up with some energetic response. This is the answer to that question. But at the same time, this whole thing is seen through. And actually, if you really look at it, that's something is happening beyond this whole thing. Or can we call it even happening? It just is. Something sees through, but not as an active thing of seeing through, because that's also, if something like that kind of observation is happening, that is also seen. The observation of this real-time happening is also known. So what's the relationship of that which sees through this? Is that smaller or bigger than this thing that's trying to convey, that's trying to communicate something? Because these words may make sense. If you can follow, you can understand these words. You can make sense of them. But at the same time, there's this observation. There's also, like, you can hear the sound. You can sense that there's understanding happening. You can sense that there is this some kind of energy flowing. There's the sense of eyesight, that you are seeing this crazy Santa Claus doing these movements. There is an observation of all this real time right now. So this whole thing, all the senses that are happening about this situation, that somehow interpret real time the situation, all that mechanism is seen through. If you really just look, you can see this whole thing. Also the observation of this whole thing. You can know. There is knowing. Not that you can know. Because if there is a subject that knows, this kind of subjectivity or the feeling of being subject is also known. But this knowingness is beyond. It's higher than all the things that are happening. There is no substance in anything. There has to be identification and really the belief. Without this kind of observation, actually it can't be true, because this observation always is. But there's a belief that this identification is real, that it covers everything. That can happen, but observation, this neutral observation, is always, it also sees this kind of identification. meaning that you really experience being something. But if there is no identification with anything, there is only nothingness, appearing as these movements and everything. Just recognize this, confirm this, and see for yourself how beautiful your day will be. All the best.